Hi, my name is Dawn Irons, and I'm a leadership coach with SREB. Today, I'd like to talk to you about learning walks, what they are, and how you can start this practice at your school. Sometimes referred to as instructional rounds, learning walks are brief visits to the classroom that provide educators with an opportunity to reflect on what students are learning, strategies that are in use, levels of student engagement, and how teachers and students are interacting with the curriculum. There are many benefits to learning walks, so let's go ahead and dive right in. Learning walks allow teachers and leaders the opportunity to identify and celebrate best practices and innovation that may be happening across campus. They allow us to create a shared understanding among different content area teachers and different grade levels. They help us to connect so that we better understand the perspectives and challenges of our colleagues. Learning walks can help us uncover needs for professional learning, as well as the conditions that are either supporting or hindering high quality teaching and learning. Learning walks can build and even strengthen a campus's commitment to collegiality and professionalism. And finally, they promote reflection and job embedded professional learning. Learning walks usually center on a problem of practice. They are focused with pre-identified look-fors. Classroom visits are often 10 to 15 minutes in length, and they are non-evaluative in nature. Remember, the primary purpose of learning walks is to promote reflection and job-embedded professional learning. If you are thinking of starting learning walks at your school, there are several rules of the road that should be adhered to. The first rule centers on the purpose. It is important that everyone, both host teachers and visiting teachers, understand the why behind learning walks. This should be communicated early and often. The second rule is the co-creation of look-fors. These typically relate to a school's problem of practice or a school-wide goal. Here's an example that shows the look-fors a middle school math team came together to create. As you can see, their look-fors centered on 4 categories: alignment, differentiation, student discourse, and justification with evidence. It's really important for these to be co-created so that teachers have some sense of ownership over the look-fors or indicators in their classroom. Remember, it's important to keep the number of look-fors manageable. It's often not possible or realistic to expect to see every look-for in a 10 to 15-minute visit. Encourage individuals to think about which look-fors are going to be most significant for the school's growth. Another rule centers on how we communicate. Not only the purpose, value, and benefits of learning walks, but also the logistics. Leaders need to provide clear communication and reminders to everyone involved that learning walks may be happening that day. Schedules should be communicated to everyone who needs them. Speaking of communication, it's important to encourage classroom visitors to speak with students if they are not disrupting instruction. The last rule of the road has to do with time. Remember to keep your visits between 10 to 15 minutes. Don't get sucked into a lesson and overstay your welcome. It's important to provide timely feedback to your host teachers. They're going to be very curious to know which indicators you observed. And finally, we need to create time and space to share the data that is collected during learning walks. Very often, the look-fors will be turned into a simple form, either paper pencil or Google form, so that data can be collected and reflected on. Here you can see a sample learning walk schedule that coincides with a 60-minute classroom period. In this scenario, it would be possible to complete 3 10-minute classroom visits. It's important to reserve time both at the beginning and end of the learning walks. Prior to the learning walks, all of the observers will want to review the look-fors to ensure that there are no questions and that everyone has clarity on them. Providing time for the observers to meet afterwards will allow them to debrief, discuss any trends that they saw, celebrate any wins, as well as identify future needs. Hallway huddles are brief opportunities for observers to calibrate and reflect on what they just observed. Sometimes hallway huddles will need to be done in motion as as observers are moving from one observation to the next. As you can see, there are lots of benefits associated with classroom learning walks. Be sure to check out the additional resources so you can learn how to implement this practice at your school. Thank you.